Hi, class. I hope you're doing well. I hope the first week of the semester didn't throw you for too much of a loop. I know, at least at Sonoma State, a lot of people are much more accustomed to being in an actual class, and so this is probably a bit of an adjustment, even though we've been doing it for a little bit. This is a great class, and it's only been taught by me once before, but I love the content and I love the kind of thought behind it, but I've not done it online before, so this will be our first time together. Um, what I would normally do is I would have people come in and speak with you, and you would meet them and kind of connect with them. So I have modified it to have interviews for you that I've recorded that you're going to have every week. So every week you're going to meet a new person that's doing different work that potentially you could be doing if you're so inclined. Um, so this week you're gonna meet Hillary Smith, who is a librarian at Sonoma State, and she has an interesting and windy career path, which most of us do. I know there might have been some sort of story told to you at one point that you go to college, you get a job, and you just do it, but that's pretty not typical, just so you know. Having a path kind of means that you have a lot of cool stories to tell and you have a lot of experience to pull from. So I hope that as you start on your path, that you do your darndest to enjoy it. And it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to make sense. Sometimes you're going to struggle, but once you kind of accept it and roll with it, it becomes a better journey, I guess you could say. And, that's easy for me to say as someone who's been a teacher for the past, I don't know, 6 or 7, 8 years, full-time teacher, not even 8 years, not that long. So I've just been kind of in a kind of holding pattern. But I've been on lots of journeys. And so I'll interview myself at one point during the semester so you can hear about that. But so you're going to hear about Hillary this week, and that's going to be part of what you respond to in the discussion forum. So you'll have some reading. You're going to read chapter 1 in You Majored in What? And you're also going to read this article from the American Sociological Association. And it just kind of, it says preparing for a 21st century job hunt with the BA in sociology. So that's in the module, but it's also here in your to-do. So that's what that's the content that you're gonna base kind of the conversation that you're gonna have with your colleagues in class. So you've already did the meet and greet, so you understand. You post in the discussion forum. You directly answer the questions I'm asking you, and you use the resources that I provided, and then you reply to 2 classmates. And that's instead of meeting in person, right? So that's kind of the way that an online class that's asynchronous is working for me. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to start my office hours this week. So if you want to check in and say hello, please feel free. You don't have to have anything specific to say except hello. I don't care. I'm just happy to meet you because normally I'd be sitting in Stevenson Hall and you'd walk on over and say hello to me, but we're not doing that this semester. I'll quit being bitter about it too. I'll get over it pretty soon because actually, probably by fall, we may be back in that situation, right? We don't know for sure yet, but we're feeling a little bit hopeful. But in the meantime, we got to hunker down. I keep telling, because I have a daughter who's turning 19 tomorrow, and I have to keep telling her, you got to hunker down. You got to stay home. I know you want to go run the streets, but you cannot because you're trying to stay safe. And then in a few months, perhaps it will feel like it felt to at least some degree. So as a sociologist, clearly this pandemic has dampened my sociological imagination in some ways, but in other ways it's highlighted other parts of myself. So hopefully you have found balance in your life during all of this, and you're safe and your loved ones are safe. Okay, that's a lot for today. So just get on the content, start reading it, watch Hillary. Oh, And the other thing is Hillary is actually the social science librarian. And so she mentions this in the interview, but her job is to help sociology students with papers and projects. So for this class, but any class, she would love to work with you. Like that's one of her favorite things to do. So I hope you use her as a resource because she is here for you. And that's the other thing is that as we go through this class, I want you to start identifying who your resources are, and they're not necessarily at Sonoma State. Is it a former boss? Is it your sister? Is it, your high school chemistry teacher? Who are your resources? In some language, in kind of career searching, you could call them your weak ties, like people that aren't necessarily like, people that you're with all the time, but they're people that you've run into throughout your life that you think you can count on for support when it comes to employment or, providing you with opportunity. So this is what I always tell my daughter, you can't be shitty to people because you might want to reach out to them at one point. And if you've been crummy to them, then they might not want to help you out. So think about who you interact with in your life to date, who might be somebody that could be a resource to you, and then start thinking about that. Because one of the things in this class that you're going to do is create a reference list, right? So start thinking about that. All right, cool. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.